The warning. Deep within the Lunar Intelligence Center's quantum observation chamber, Director James Hawthorne watched the holographic display with cold satisfaction. The alien vessel thought it was hidden, cloaked behind technology that should have made it invisible. Should have. They are on their fourth scouting run, sir, Lieutenant Diana Reeves reported, her fingers manipulating the quantum sensors that had been tracking the cracks in ships for the past 3 years. Same pattern as before. They think they are studying us. They have no idea. Hawthorne nodded, his scarred face illuminated by the holographic data streams. Humanity had detected the first alien probe 6 years ago. Instead of announcing it to the world, a decision was made: let them watch, while we watch them. Status of Project Nemesis. Hawthorne asked, turning to Dr. Victor Rodriguez, head of Xenotechnology Research. Rodriguez gestured at the wall of screens showing test results from hidden facilities around the globe. We've reversed engineered 60% of their cloaking technology from the debris of their crashed scout ship in the Atacama. Their energy signatures can't hide from us anymore. But more importantly, he smiled, displaying a simulation of a new weapon system. We've developed countermeasures they don't think we're capable of. In high orbit, aboard the Kraxan reconnaissance vessel, Silent Watcher, Fleet Observer ZY Extal reviewed his species' assessment of Earth with growing satisfaction. These humans are remarkably primitive, High Commander. They haven't even detected our presence despite 3 years of observation. High Commander Vrax, his exoskeleton gleaming with bioluminescent patterns denoting his rank, clicked his mandibles in amusement. Excellent. Their technology is centuries behind ours. They waste resources on internal conflicts while we study their weaknesses. The Kraxan Dominion's expansion will continue as planned. Sir, ZY-Extal's sensory appendages twitched with excitement. Shall I prepare the invasion assessment report? Proceed. The Council will be pleased. Earth's resources will. The ship's emergency frequencies suddenly crackled to life. A transmission, originating from Earth, broadcasting directly to their supposedly undetectable vessel. On every screen aboard the Silent Watcher, a human face appeared. Director Hawthorne's expression was calm, almost predatory. To the Kraxan vessel currently in orbit above Earth's northern hemisphere, we've been watching you watching us. Vrax's bioluminescent patterns flared with shock. Impossible. Our cloaking technology. Your cloaking technology has been compromised for the past 2 years, Hawthorne continued, as if hearing the aliens' protest. We've studied every scout ship you've sent. We've analyzed your weapons, your defenses, your vulnerabilities. This isn't a first contact scenario. This is a warning. In the Lunar Command Center, Hawthorne stood before the transmission array, flanked by military leaders from Earth's United Defense Forces. You believe you've been studying a primitive species, preparing for an easy conquest. The reality is, we've been using you as test subjects, learning your weaknesses, developing weapons specifically designed to hunt your kind. He leaned closer to the camera, his voice dropping to a dangerous quiet. Leave now. Return to your council. Tell them Earth is not prey. We are hunters. We've spent our entire history perfecting the art of warfare, and now we have your technology to enhance our natural talents. If you ignore this warning, if you choose to attack, understand this: we won't just defend. We will hunt you across every star system, every planet, every corner of space until either you or we cease to exist. Aboard the Silent Watcher, the command crew stared in stunned silence as Hawthorne continued, You have 24 hours to leave our solar system. After that, the hunt begins. And unlike you, we're not bluffing. The transmission ended, leaving the Kraxan ship in chaos. High Commander, ZY-Extal's voice trembled, they are powering up weapons we didn't know they had. I'm detecting energy signatures similar to our own technology, but modified. Vrax's patterns now pulsed with rage and fear. Send the data to the Council. Prepare for immediate. Multiple targeting locks suddenly engaged on their hull. Across Earth's surface and from hidden lunar bases, weapon systems specifically designed to track and destroy Kraxan ships emerged from camouflage. In the Lunar Command Center, Lieutenant Reeves looked up from her console. Sir, should we show them the rest of our capabilities? Hawthorne shook his head. Not yet. Let them run back to their council with what they've seen. Let them wonder what else we're capable of. They'll be back. His eyes hardened. And when they return, we'll show them why humans aren't just defenders of our world. We're the most dangerous hunters they've ever encountered. As the silent watcher fled Earth's orbit, emergency drives burning hot enough to be visible despite their cloaking technology, Hawthorne watched the tactical display with grim satisfaction. The Kraxan would return, of course. Species that evolved as apex predators always did. But this time, they would face a humanity that had spent 6 years preparing specifically for them. The hunt was about to begin. And humanity, after millennia of fighting itself, was more than ready to turn its predatory instincts outward. Hunters emerge. 3 months after Earth's warning, the Kraxan invasion fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 200 warships strong, led by Supreme War Director Merak himself, they expected to find a primitive civilization scrambling to mount a defense. Instead, they found silence. No radio transmissions. No active satellites. Earth's cities appeared dark from orbit. Supreme Director, Fleet Tactician Naira reported, her crystalline sensory nodes pulsing with confusion. Long-range scans show no active defense systems. No military installations. No orbital platforms. She paused, mandibles clicking nervously. It's as if they've abandoned the planet. Merak's bioluminescent command markings flashed with annoyance. Impossible. Scan deeper. The humans are here. They are hiding. In the depths of Mars Valles Marineris, converted into humanity's forward operating base, Director Hawthorne stood before the assembled commanders of Earth's first interstellar hunter-killer squadrons. The massive underground chamber housed 30 specialized stealth vessels, each incorporating modified Kraxan technology with human innovation. Operation Shadow Strike is now active, Hawthorne announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. For 3 months, we've let them think their initial scout escaped with only partial intelligence of our capabilities. In reality, he gestured to the tactical display showing the Kraxan fleet's position. Every move they've made has been tracked by our quantum sensor network. Captain Renata Valles, commander of the stealth vessel Night Stalker, stepped forward. Her dark combat suit, embedded with adaptive camouflage technology, seemed to shift like living shadow. All hunter teams are prepped and ready, sir. The modifications to their cloaking tech work perfectly. They can't see us, but we see everything. Dr. Rodriguez joined them at the tactical display, pointing to specific Kraxan vessels. Their flagship's defensive systems are most vulnerable here and here. Their arrogance means they never developed countermeasures against their own technology. They never imagined a primitive species could turn it against them. In high orbit above Earth, Supreme Director Merak grew increasingly uneasy. Something was wrong. The humans' warning had been too confident, too precise. Begin planetary approach, he ordered. Launch scout teams to. Multiple alarms suddenly blared across the Kraxan fleet. Ships at the formation's edge began reporting system failures, then went silent. Supreme Director. Naira's voice rose with the first edge of fear. We're detecting energy signatures similar to our own technology, but different. More aggressive. They are inside our perimeter. Aboard the Night Stalker, Captain Valles watched through her neural interface as her squadron's quantum torpedoes, human weapons powered by reversed-engineered Kraxan tech, struck their first targets. Hunter Teams 2 and 3, execute attack pattern Delta. Team 4, begin electronic warfare protocols. Let's show them how humans hunt. The Kraxan fleet's formation dissolved into chaos as invisible attackers struck from multiple vectors. Human vessels, completely undetectable to Kraxan sensors, moved through their lines with devastating precision. Each strike targeted specific vulnerabilities that only someone who had intimately studied Kraxan technology would know. Impossible. Merak raged as another wave of ships went dark. They are using our own cloaking technology. Our own weapons. His flagship rocked with multiple impacts. Return fire. Full spread. But the Kraxen's weapons found only empty space. The humans' modifications to the stolen technology had surpassed the original design. Every counterattack missed as hunter-killer squadrons continued their methodical dismantling of the alien fleet. In the Maz Command Center, Hawthorne watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction. Status report. Lieutenant Reeves consulted her quantum interface. 37 enemy ships disabled or destroyed. No casualties on our side. Their formation is breaking apart. She looked up, a predatory smile on her face. They are running, sir. Not all of them, Hawthorne ordered. Captain Valles, disable their flagship. It's time to send a message to the Kraxen Council. The Night Stalker and its squadron swept through the deteriorating alien formation like wolves through scattered sheep. Quantum torpedoes struck the flagship's engines with surgical precision, leaving it stranded as its escort ships fled into hyperspace. Captain Vales's voice crackled through the command channel. Flagship disabled, sir. Boarding teams are ready. Hawthorne opened a channel to the crippled Kraxen vessel. Supreme Director Merak. You ignored our warning. You thought humans were prey. Now you understand, we are hunters. Your ship is disabled. Your fleet is in ruins. But we're letting you live, so you can return to your council with a message. He leaned closer to the transmission array, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's newfound power. The hunt has begun. We've studied you for years. We've taken your technology and made it better. You can't hide from us. You can't fight us. And we're coming for every Kraxen ship, every base, every world that threatens Earth. As Merak's flagship limped away under human escort, Lieutenant Reeves monitored the quantum network tracking the fleeing Kraxen vessels. Sir, should we pursue? Hawthorne shook his head. Not yet. Let them spread the word. Let every Kraxen ship know that humans aren't just fighting a defensive war. We're hunting them. His eyes hardened. And we're very, very good at it. In the depths of Mars, the hunter-killer squadrons returned to base, their crews already preparing for the next phase. Humanity had emerged as something the Kraxen had never encountered, an enemy that didn't just fight back, but actively hunted them. The age of human expansion into the stars had begun, and it started not with peaceful exploration, but with a hunt that would reshape the galaxy. Predator becomes prey. The Kraxen outpost on Centauri Prime was considered impregnable. Built into the core of an asteroid, protected by layers of advanced shield technology, it had served as the Empire's forward base for a century. Now, it was about to fall. In the darkness of space, 5 human hunter-killer vessels watched the outpost through quantum imaging systems. The flagship, Shadow Reach, commanded by Fleet Hunter Marshal Raven Blackwood, had tracked this target for weeks. Multiple escape attempts in the past month, Blackwood noted, studying the tactical display. Her dark eyes reflected the holographic data streams. Ever since we started hitting their supply lines, they've been trying to evacuate their research data. Not this time. The Kraxen hadn't just lost ships in the 3 months since their failed invasion. They'd lost their sense of security. Every base, every outpost, every supposedly safe haven had become a potential hunting ground. Commander Marcus Chen, Tactical Operations Chief, highlighted several points around the asteroid. Their shield matrix has 7 overlapping layers. But thanks to the data we pulled from their flagship, we've identified the weak points. Ghost teams are in position. Ghost teams, special forces equipped with phase shift technology that humans had not only stolen but perfected. The Kraxen thought their tech was decades ahead. They never imagined humans would advance it so quickly. Inside the asteroid base, High Sentinel Drax paced nervously. His luminescent patterns were dim with stress, a sign of fear no Kraxen could hide. Status of the quantum core transfer. 70% complete, High Sentinel, Techmaster Ven reported. But our long-range sensors detect unusual energy fluctuations in the debris field. They might be. Don't say it, Drax snapped. The humans can't reach this far into our territory. This base is secure. A low, human laugh echoed through the command center's speakers. Are you sure about that, High Sentinel? Every screen in the facility suddenly displayed the same image, a stylized human skull with crossed daggers, the emblem of Earth's hunter-killer fleet. Drax's patents flared with panic. Lock down all systems. Raise secondary shields. Your secondary shields are already compromised, their voice continued, Fleet Hunter Marshal Blackwood, though Drax didn't know her name. Yet. We've been inside your systems for hours. Would you like to know what else we control? Their base's lights went dark. When they returned seconds later, 6 human Ghost Team operators stood in the command center, their phase shift armor making them look like predatory specters. Quantum core secured, Ghost lead Jessica Kane reported through the neural net. Her team had already disabled the base's self-destruct sequences. Research data locked down. No deletions permitted. Aboard Shadow Reach, Blackwood opened a direct channel to the paralyzed Kraxan command staff. 3 months ago, you thought humans were primitive. Now you can't sleep without checking for our ships in your shadows. But this isn't just about military victories. She gestured, and Commander Chen transmitted their next message, a comprehensive analysis of Kraxan shield technology, with improvements that humans had developed. Your own weapons, made better by the species you underestimated. We're not just taking your bases. We're taking your secrets. In the Kraxan High Council chamber, Supreme Director Merak faced his peers with growing desperation. The tactical display showed another dozen stations gone dark in the past week. They are not just attacking our outposts. They are studying us, learning from each victory. Every defeat makes them stronger. Council Elder ZYX, her age evident in her faded bioluminescence, leaned forward. How? How did we not see their potential for this level of adaptation? Because we believed our own propaganda, Fleet Master Torn admitted. We thought technological superiority meant absolute superiority. We never considered that humans would take our technology and improve it so quickly. A junior analyst burst into the chamber, breaking all protocol. Council members. The humans, they've breached the Alios archive. They are broadcasting its contents to every Kraxan world. The Alios archive, the secured database containing centuries of Kraxan technological development. Now being transmitted across their empire by the very species they dismissed as primitive 3 months ago. Back at the Centauri outpost, Ghost Team operators systematically downloaded every scrap of data while human ships disabled the facility's remaining defenses. They weren't just capturing the base, they were gathering intelligence for the next hunt. Tell me, High Sentinel, Blackwood's voice carried a predatory amusement, did you ever wonder why we let your flagship escape in that first battle? Why we wanted you to see exactly how we'd learn to hunt you? Drax's patents had faded to almost nothing, terror overriding pride. What do you want? Want? We want you to keep running. Keep hiding. Keep wondering where we'll strike next. Blackwood's tone hardened. Because humans don't just fight wars, High Sentinel. We study our prey. We learn their habits, their weaknesses, their fears. And then we hunt them to extinction. As Ghost Teams completed their mission, Commander Chen updated the tactical display. Next target identified, their shipyard at Proxima 2. Their ships will need to refuel somewhere after this raid. Blackwood nodded, already planning the next phase. Inform all hunter-killer groups. The prey is about to run. And we'll be waiting. In the 3 months since the failed invasion of Earth, humanity had transformed from an unknown species into the galaxy's apex predator. The Kraxan Empire, which had never lost a war in 3 centuries, was learning a harsh lesson: humans hadn't just prepared for invasion. They'd prepared to hunt. No place to hide. The Kraxan capital world of Nexus Prime had never known fear. For 3 centuries, its crystalline spires had stood as symbols of imperialistic power. Now, those spires trembled as emergency sirens wailed across the planet. 5th Fleet destroyed at Sector 7, Fleet Master Torn reported to the assembled council, his bioluminescent patents flickering with exhaustion. 7th Fleet ambushed at the Alios waypoint. 9th Fleet just went dark. The tactical display told a story of systematic annihilation. Human hunter-killer squadrons weren't just attacking Kraxan forces, they were herding them, driving them back toward their homeworld like wolves culling a herd. Supreme Warlord Cax, recently appointed after Merak's disgrace, slammed his crystalline appendage against the council table. How are they anticipating every move? Every emergency protocol we initiate, they are already there. In the darkness of space, aboard the advanced human command vessel Apex Predator, Admiral Yasmin Patel watched the Kraxan forces scatter through quantum surveillance feeds. 6 months of relentless hunting had transformed humanity's military. Every ship, every crew, had become specialized predators. Status of Operation Endgame, she asked, her battle-scarred face illuminated by holographic displays. Strategic Director Owen Drake, architect of humanity's hunting doctrine, highlighted various sectors around Nexus Prime. Ghost teams have infiltrated their remaining shipyards. Hunter groups 1 through 7 have driven their fleets into the prepared kill zones. The net is almost closed. The human strategy hadn't just been about destroying Kraxan ships. It was about understanding prey behavior, predicting panic responses, and using the enemy's fear against them. Their psychology is breaking down, reported Dr. Kira Yamamoto, head of xenopsychology. Every Kraxan ship captain now hesitates before jumping to hyperspace, afraid we've set a trap. Every base commander doubts their security systems, knowing we've probably already breached them. On Nexus Prime, those fears were proving justified. Throughout the capital's secure bunkers, hidden quantum transmitters, planted months ago by ghost teams, were already active. The Kraxan's most closely guarded secrets were being stripped away, layer by layer. Council members, a human voice suddenly echoed through their sealed chamber, Admiral Patel, though they didn't know her name. Your civilization spent centuries believing technological superiority made you invincible. Now let's discuss what superior technology looks like in human hands. Every screen in the council chamber activated, showing footage from across Kraxan space. Human ships emerging from improved cloaking fields their sensors couldn't detect. Ghost team operators phasing through supposedly impenetrable shields. Quantum torpedoes that tracked targets through hyperspace. This isn't just about military defeat, Patel continued. This is about evolution. You evolved as conquerors, relying on overwhelming force. Humans. We evolved as hunters. We learned to track, to anticipate, to outlast our prey. And now we've combined that instinct with your own technology. Fleet Master Torn's patents had faded to almost nothing. We've lost contact with the outer defense grid. They are inside our primary shield network. Aboard Apex Predator, Ghost lead Marcus Chen, promoted after the Centauri raid, reported through the neural net. All infiltration teams in position. Their planetary defense grid is compromised. Waiting for final authorization. Admiral Patel stood, her cybernetic eye scanning tactical readouts. Initiate final phase. Show them nowhere is safe. Across Nexus Prime, Kraxan security systems began failing in cascading waves. Defense platforms turned on their own ships. Communication networks broadcast human hunter fleet coordinates instead of evacuation orders. In orbit, the Apex Predator decloaked directly above the capital city, leading a fleet of advanced human warships. Each vessel represented humanity's improvement on stolen Kraxan designs, sleeker, deadlier, more predatory. Your empire spent 3 centuries conquering species that fought conventionally, Patel transmitted to the panicking Kraxan leadership. But humans don't fight wars of conquest. We hunt. We adapt. We perfect. Every victory teaches us. Every battle makes us stronger. Strategic Director Drake highlighted new tactical data. Their remaining fleets are attempting to converge on the capital. Exactly as predicted. Of course they are, Dr. Yamamoto noted. Herd instinct under pressure. They are gathering for protection, not realizing they're clustering in our kill zone. Admiral Patel opened a channel to all human hunter groups. All units, execute final containment protocols. The prey has nowhere left to run. On Nexus Prime, Council Elder ZYX faced her fellow leaders, her age-dimmed patterns pulsing with grim realization. We didn't just underestimate their potential. We forced them to become this. Our attempt to conquer Earth created something worse than any enemy we've faced, a species that learned to hunt us. The human fleet hung above their capital like mythological predators of old, their improved weapons and defenses mocking everything the Kraxan had believed about technological superiority. They had created their own nightmare, a humanity that didn't just fight back, but had learned to hunt on a galactic scale. Admiral Patel's final transmission echoed through every Kraxan communication device. You ignored Earth's warning. You thought humans were prey. Now there's nowhere left to hide, nowhere that human hunters can't reach. The question isn't whether your empire will fall, it's whether anything will remain when the hunt ends. As night fell on Nexus Prime, its crystalline spires reflected the lights of human ships moving through their defense zones with predatory grace. The hunters had cornered their prey. The final phase was about to begin. The last hunt. The crystalline throne room of Nexus Prime, heart of the once mighty Kraxan Empire, had never known silence like this. Supreme Sovereign Kraxthor, ultimate ruler of their civilization, watched through quantum feeds as the last defensive line crumbled. They are not just defeating us, he whispered, his royal patents dim with despair. They are dismantling everything we built. 3 centuries of empire, undone in 8 months by a species we thought primitive. The tactical display showed human hunter-killer groups systematically eliminating every attempt at resistance. Not through brute force, but with a precision that spoke of intimate knowledge of Kraxan tactics, technology, and psychology. In high orbit aboard the Nemesis Prime, humanity's most advanced command vessel, Grand Admiral Helena Vega surveyed the endgame with cold satisfaction. The ship, like the entire human fleet, represented the peak of hybridized technology, Kraxan engineering refined by human predatory instinct. Final status report, she commanded. Colonel Riker Jackson, head of battle analysis, brought up the strategic overview. Ghost teams have secured their quantum core facilities. All emergency protocols have been neutralized. Their remaining ships are clustered in predictable defensive formations, exactly where we want them. Dr. Yamamoto's xenopsychology team had predicted this response months ago. Under extreme pressure, the Kraxan would revert to hierarchical defense patterns, protecting their leadership instead of adapting. The behavior of an empire that had forgotten how to face real challenges. Their entire civilization is built on the assumption of technological superiority, Strategic Director Drake observed. Now they are facing weapons and tactics they thought impossible, their own technology, evolved beyond their understanding. On the planet below, Ghost lead Marcus Chen's teams moved through supposedly secured zones like vengeful spirits. Their phase shift technology, once stolen from the Kraxan, now operated on principles the aliens couldn't detect, let alone counter. Inner sanctum breached, Chen reported through the neural net. You should see their faces, Admiral. They still can't believe we reached them here. Grand Admiral Vega opened a direct channel to the Kraxan throne room. Supreme Sovereign Kraxthor. 8 months ago, your empire dismissed humanity's warning. You thought technology alone made you invincible. Now let's discuss the price of that arrogance. The quantum feeds displayed human hunter ships emerging from improved cloaking fields throughout the Kraxan home system. Each vessel represented humanity's interpretation of alien technology, sleeker, more aggressive, optimized for the hunt. Your empire spent centuries conquering species that fought defensively, Vega continued. But humans? We spent our history learning to hunt. Every weapon, every tactic, every strategy refined through millennia of warfare. And then you gave us your technology to enhance those skills. In the throne room, surrounded by failing defenses and infiltrated command centers, Kraxthor finally understood. You weren't just stealing our technology. You were studying us. Learning how we think, how we react. Of course we were, Vega's voice carried predatory satisfaction. Humans don't just fight wars. We study our prey. Your invasion fleet gave us everything we needed, not just your technology, but insight into your military doctrine, your tactical responses, your civilizational weaknesses. Director Drake highlighted new tactical data. Their remaining forces are attempting a final defensive formation around the capital. Shall we spring the trap? Execute Operation Omega, Vhagar commanded. Show them what human hunters can do. Across the Kraxan home system, hidden quantum devices activated. Technology that humans had spent months planting, waiting for this moment. Emergency hyperspace routes collapsed. Communication networks failed. Defense systems turned inward. This is humanity's message to the galaxy, Vhagar broadcast on all frequencies. We didn't want this war. We offered peace. But when forced to fight, we don't just defend, we hunt. We adapt. We perfect. And we never, ever stop. In their throne room, now infiltrated by ghost teams, the Kraxan leadership faced the cost of their hubris. They had created their own nightmare, a humanity that had taken their technology and transformed it through the lens of Earth's most dangerous predators. Your civilization has a choice, Vhagar declared. Unconditional surrender, or extinction. You taught humanity how to operate on a galactic scale. Now learn what happens when humans decide to hunt on that same scale. Admiral Patel's voice joined the transmission from the other side of Kraxan space. Every ship, every base, every world is already compromised. We've spent months preparing this moment. Their hunt ends when you choose. As dawn broke over Nexus Prime's crystal spires, Supreme Sovereign Kraxthor faced the human envoys in his throne room. The surrender document was simple: the Kraxan Empire would cease to exist. Their technology, their knowledge, their worlds would be absorbed into a new order, one shaped by the species they had foolishly dismissed as prey. Grand Admiral Vhagar stood on the bridge of Nemesis Prime, watching the sunrise over a changed galaxy. Send word to Earth. Their hunt is complete. In 8 months, humanity had evolved from a planetary civilization into a galactic power. Not through peaceful exploration, but through the perfection of their predatory instincts. They had learned, adapted, and hunted their way to supremacy. The last transmission to the former Kraxan worlds was brief: remember Earth's warning. We offered peace. We preferred cooperation. But you chose to make us hunters. Now the galaxy knows, humanity's warnings are never bluffs. And human hunters never stop until their hunt is done.